Hello there, my friends. Salamun alaikum. So a question that I'm sure you've had to deal with, or that you yourself ask, is why is it only the Shi'i countries or those sections of the Muslim global community that are Shi'i that are confronting the big enemies of humanity, that are giving support to the victims or to those who are confronted by the Israeli genocide and assault? And I want to offer you an explanation. The Shiite theology is somewhat different from Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah, right? And I want to point out to you these few differences, and then you can understand why it has come to be like that today. And that is why we also asking and pushing and promoting that the Muslim majority, the global Muslim community, the leadership, all of them involved in the thinking, the intelligentsia, should be working very hard to transform our own way of understanding the deen. But now what is it that gives the Shi'i right now the advantage, making it more possible for them to rise to the occasion, to respond to situations as they develop? Whereas the Sunnis are almost like caught in a trap of their sultans and of the antiquated, backward priests that are unable to think through the problems, right? They suffer a fractured reflexivity that I've mentioned to you in videos before. So, I want to raise a few things where the Shi'i theology differs from the Sunni. The first one is the idea of ijtihad, of deriving rulings or positions independently of historical rulings and positions. So in other words, we're capable and qualified jurists or lawyers or legal experts are able to explore the Qur'an in depth, explore any other means of accessing best practice, and generating from that a position to their followers. So in other words, the leadership, the scholars, the jurists, the lawyers, they are able to, they have the power of ijtihad. They have the power to mine the resources, all the resources, including the Qur'an, to come up with a legal position that makes sense. Now, we know that the Qur'an is our primary and sacred central law, but not all laws are sacred or religiously, bound or attached to theology. Some laws could be best practice in society. Your traffic laws are not divine. The divine principles are parameters that these laws have to comply with. Like, for example, we know in the Quran it says, وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. It says the leader should rule through consulting with the followers. So that is the parameter that the Quran offers, is that there should be a process, a healthy process of consultation. But it doesn't state that it has to be federal system, it has to be a centralized political system. So ijtihad, my friend, is the first thing that I believe is present within a Shi'i community, absent in the Sunni. So the second thing is the posture, the stance towards Hadith. The Shi'is, of course, the Sunnis often accuse the Shi'i Hadith books of being weak, of being without any chains, with the asanid, the sanads. And so they discount Shi'i Hadith books. But how many of you realize that Shi'is themselves don't regard the Hadith books as sahih? So no Shi'i Hadith book in the Shi'i tradition for compendiums or compilations of Hadith, right? The Kutubul Arba'a. And but it is not called the Sihah Sita, it is only called the 4 texts. And so that is the second thing. They don't regard their Hadith books as in any way comparable to the Qur'an. And that brings me to the third point. and that is the Usuli Akhbari difference. In the past 2 centuries, the Shi'i communities of the world have undergone a massive transformation to incorporating rational and logical methods of inferencing or of jurisprudence. So they've abandoned the idea that all law has to be based on a hadith, and laws or rulings or knowledge could be based on what is rationally arguable. So those are the 3 things. So today we find that the Akhbari school of thought, who used to be dominant in the Shi'i world, has become almost like non-existent. And all the main schools of all the countries that they are Shi'i, the main theological schools teach usulism. So in other words, rationalism. They've actually made a very sharp turn back to Mu'tazila philosophy. And so those 3 points, number 1, presence of ijtihad, the ability by those who are sufficiently knowledgeable to develop the law based on the sources of law. Ijtihad, that's number 1. Number 2, the critical and sort of skeptical stance to hadith, that's number 2. And number 3, the incorporation of rational ways of reasoning and deducing. Now those 3 things, you will be amazed how those 3 practices can add vibrancy to a community. And you suddenly have a situation where you are able to think on your feet, you are able to reason, you are able to confront present day issues and come up with a thought through healthy response. And that, my friends, is where the big difference comes in. The global community of Sunni Muslims are still in the grip of taking their hadiths as unquestionably true. So they refuse to take a critical stance on hadith. Secondly, the global community of Sunni Muslims reject ijtihad. They insist on the salaf, the ideas or the answers that were generated 1,200 years ago. They insist on going and fetching those answers and making them work today. Now you think for yourself, how do you meet the contemporary enemies of Islam by going back to the times, 1,200 years ago solutions when there were no technology? We are being outsmarted, outwitted, and outdone by technology, by new ways of thinking, and we think that we can confront it by going back to old solutions and applying them in a new time. And then lastly is the idea of rational thinking, completely rejected within the Sunni tradition. My friends, if we can only learn from the Shi'i those 3 things, then I cannot see how we cannot enter a new flourishing period of scholarship, of truly responding to the onslaught of the anti-Islamic global forces.